At the moment of death, the brain doesn't shut down. It lights up. That's why Nikola Tesla and Albert Einstein both suspected something that science still hesitates to say out loud. The universe is conscious. If you want to understand the universe, Tesla said, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Einstein, standing on the other side of the same bridge, reminded us that God does not play dice. Two paths, one destination. Consciousness isn't a byproduct of matter. It's the fabric that shapes it. Now imagine your thoughts don't stay trapped inside your head. Every idea you hold, every emotion you nurture, radiates like a subtle field that interacts with the world around you. To Tesla, the brain was both transmitter and receiver, tuned to a living ether. For Einstein, the very intelligibility of the cosmos revealed a greater mind behind its laws. When the noise quiets and the mind becomes still, something speaks. And from that silence, visions, equations, and inventions are born. Tesla saw flashes of light revealing entire machines before he ever built them. Einstein rode beams of light in his imagination long before writing the equations of relativity. Genius, at its core, is simply an open channel. Thinking is transmitting. Feeling is tuning. Creating is resonating. Attention focuses and amplifies, while coherent emotion stabilizes the wave. When clear intention meets elevated emotion, information flows with less distortion. That's why ideas gain power when your inner state aligns. The field around you responds. Repetition carves vibrational paths. Beliefs become filters of perception. Changing belief is recalibrating your tuner. Breathing fine-tunes the instrument. Inhale to lift, exhale to ground, hold to focus. Words are frequencies too. Mantras, prayers, and affirmations carve geometry into the mental field. The body, in turn, is the canvas of the mind. Posture, tone, and gesture all feed back into the vibration you broadcast. In this map, numbers aren't just counting, they're keys. Tesla treated 3, 6, and 9 as a vibrational code. Creative triad, dynamic stability, integration. 3 defines intention, sender channel receiver, body mind spirit. 6 structures form, the efficient geometry of nature. 9 integrates and transforms, the completion of a cycle. Idea, form, meaning, in sequence. In practice, it becomes simple ritual. 3 conscious breaths to align, 6 minutes of focus to shape, 9 affirmations to anchor meaning. In this way, the invisible takes form. Einstein saw the same ocean, using a different language. To him, space and time weren't separate. They were a single, flexible fabric shaped by energy, and implicitly by the observer. The intuitive mind, he said, is a sacred gift, and the rational mind its faithful servant. His search for a theory of everything wasn't about pride but reverence. He wanted to express through symbols the harmony he felt. God to Einstein wasn't a being. It was the music of the laws. Each equation, a contained prayer. Each formula, a brief poem about infinity. Tesla called that ocean of origin ether, a luminous, intelligent sea. Physics dismissed it in his time, but ironically, when it dove into the quantum vacuum, it rediscovered a seething field where particles appear and vanish like foam. The names change, but the principle remains. There is no emptiness, only presence. Tesla believed it was possible to draw energy from that sea, and more than that, to tune into consciousness itself. Hearts and minds in harmony emit signatures that the field recognizes. Love, compassion, gratitude. These are frequencies that create order, coherence, and healing. And so we reach the point that shook physics, the observer. Without observation, electrons spread as waves of possibility. Once observed, they collapse into defined events. The double-slit experiment isn't superstition. It's a reminder that reality, before becoming matter, is probability responding to information. Einstein frowned at this quantum whim, yet his own relativity placed the observer at the center. Time and distance depend on who is looking. In spiritual language, it was always known, attention creates reality. In Tesla's language, the mind shapes the wave before the form. Throughout history, science and spirituality have been part of the same conversation. Alchemists were philosophers, astronomers, priests of the sky. Modern times divided their language. Science kept the how, spirituality kept the why. Tesla and Einstein tried to reconnect the two, one through machines that could tune reality, the other through equations that sang harmony. Today, that border is fading. Physics speaks of superposition, non-locality, and entanglement. Spirituality calls it oneness. Neuroscience measures meditation and sees the brain change. Bioelectromagnetism observes heart coherence when we feel love. 2 languages, 1 truth. Part of this thread was cut, or at least locked away. Tesla died poor and misunderstood, and his notebooks were taken. Einstein was reduced to simplified textbooks that ignored his mystical side. It's not hard to see why. A humanity aware that thoughts and emotions have causal power becomes harder to control through fear. Still, true ideas hibernate. They return when the world is ready. We're living that return now. Every step toward clean energy, every study on consciousness, every technology that depends more on information than on matter echoes what those 2 men once intuited. Maybe their greatest legacy isn't what they built, but what they channeled. Tesla used to say, "The day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in 1 decade than in all previous centuries." Einstein added, "I want to know God's thoughts. The rest are details." It's not about dogma, it's about a method with a soul. The next revolution will be vibrational. Medicine that works with frequency, technology that amplifies the life field, education that trains attention and compassion as seriously as it trains logic. Artificial intelligence will demand spiritual intelligence, because information without intention is an instrument without a conductor. If everything vibrates, then living is about choosing how to vibrate. The observer you are isn't condemned to repeat patterns. You can rewrite the path with new beliefs, new breath, new inner language. You can apply the simple 3 to 6 9 of daily life. Clear intention, consistent structure, loving integration. Treat your body as an amplifier, your environment as an echo, your relationships as harmonics. And above all, remember that seeing is creating. Wherever you place your awareness, something grows stronger. In the end, the message Tesla and Einstein never said in 1 sentence is written across their lives. Reality is mind in motion. Science explains the how, spirituality reveals the why. When the 2 walk together, the laboratory becomes a temple, and the temple gains method. The split dissolves, and the human being remembers itself as a thinking cell in a luminous organism called the cosmos. Maybe that's the secret we ask for in the first 5 seconds and spend a lifetime embodying. The universe is conscious, and it thinks through us. When the mind grows silent, we hear the music. When the heart aligns, we become the instrument. And when both unite, as Tesla and Einstein did in their own ways, creation flows. From here, the question is no longer what is real, but what do I choose to make real with my attention? Because in the end, everything is light, and light is information that loves to exist.